Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for your participation and attentions given to me today. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mutiara Apriliana from University of Mataram. And today, I would like to present my understanding of a journal entitled Fostering Cultural Competence, Developing a Local Culture-Based English Syllabus by Devita Puspitaratri and her team. And I would like to share my understanding of how we can teach English to primary students while staying rooted in our Indonesian identity. And let's start with the why in Indonesia. What I found most interesting in the introduction is the policy gap in Indonesia. Even though the government doesn't mandate English as a compulsory subject in primary schools, the demand from parents is high. And however, the researchers highlight the serious risk and loss of national identity. And by analyzing this paper, I understand that the author proposed as a syllabus that use local culture as a familiar context to make English more relatable and less foreign for fourth graders. And from my understanding, the researchers are not rejecting foreign culture, and instead they argue that local culture should become the starting point of learning English because students learn better when the context is already familiar to them. And next, to ensure this syllabus was scientifically sound, and the study used a research and development R&D approach, specifically the dig and carry model. And I noticed that they didn't just create it in a room, but they conduct needs assessment by interviewing teachers and stakeholders to align the syllabus with the current emancipated curriculum and curriculum Merdeka. And from the need analysis, the researchers found that researchers mainly need clear learning objectives, suitable teaching materials, effective teaching strategies, and practical assessment methods. And they also prefer interactive activities such as games, songs, and flashcards because they are more engaging for young learners. And based on this finding, the researchers developed the syllabus, validate it with experts, revise it based on feedback, and finally try it out in elementary school. And in my opinion, this makes the syllabus more reliable because it was developed based on teachers' actual needs and not just theoretical ideas. And the core framework of the syllabus is built on BRM's 1993 cultural categories. This allows the syllabus to cover everything from social identity to national history. And instead of selecting cultural topics randomly, the researchers use this framework to ensure that students were exposed to different aspects of Indonesian culture, such as social identity, national history, and geography. And what I understood from these sections is that local culture is not treated as an additional topic. Rather, it becomes the context through which English is learned. For the teaching strategy, they choose the genre-based approach, which I will explain as 4-stage journey in the next slides. First, we have BKOF, building knowledge of the field. From my understanding, this stage is all about activating students' prior knowledge. And instead of starting with complex grammar, the teacher used local stimuli and a like picture of traditional snack or games to make the student feel comfortable before diving into the English. vocabulary. And then we move to MOT, modeling of text. This is where the teacher provides the model. For example, in the unit about Malang is famous for its bakso, students watch videos or read texts describing local food, and because the student already know what bakso is, they can focus their mental energy on understanding the English language structure. And next is GKOT, joint construction of the text, which is emphasize cooperations. In my analysis, this is a crucial social stage where students work in group to practice, such as matching cultural descriptions with pictures. It reduces the pressure on individual students and build confidence. Next is ICOT, construction of text. Finally, in ICOT, students show their mastery. This is where they independently produce English, like writing a short descriptions of their favorite traditional game, or doing a role play about ordering food in a local market. And the next is Pancasila student profile. One thing that makes this syllabus very Indonesian is the integration of the Pancasila student profile, specifically global diversity. And I understand this to mean that we want students to be global citizens, but they must first value and understand their own noble heritage. And I realized that the researchers want English learning to contribute not only to language development but also to student character development. Therefore, English becomes a tool for strengthening national values rather than replacing them. In terms of assessment, the study suggests a shift towards performance-based evaluations. While traditional tests are still used, the author emphasized cultural storytelling and projects. This ensures that we are measuring their ability to use the language in real life cultural situations. In my understanding, this assessment system is more authentic because students are evaluated not only on what they know about English, but also on how well they can actually use English in meaningful cultural situations. And the results of this research are by quite powerful. And by bringing the students' daily lives into the classroom, the researchers found a significant increase in engagement. Moreover, because the language is attached to schema or context, they already know. They have better retention of the material. Ultimately, the syllabus achieves a balanced approach between global skills and local preservations. And one finding that impressed me was that students become more motivated simply because they were learning through familiar topics. This is show that understanding the learning context is just as important as understanding the language itself. To wrap up, my analysis concludes that this syllabus is a vital tool for English teachers in Indonesia to navigate the curriculum Merdeka. And for the future, the authors recommend that we focus more on creating specific local content materials. And this research proves that we can teach our children to speak to the world without ever forgetting where they came from. Okay, that's all from me, guys. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.